All you need is 3 sticks, a string, and a rock. And you can make a device, in this case called an A-frame, an aparato A. In Guatemala, we're aparato A. And you go with hanging with the campesinos and the Mayan folks, and they damn well know what an aparato A is. And they've been laying out terraced beds for a long time. They got little handheld widgets like this that people used for the early Polynesian sailor types for using as an early sextant for sighting horizon lines. It was a handheld A-frame. The Egyptians laid out the way the pyramids and the level got sorted out was a variant version of this device. If you're interested in the least change for greatest effect principle of elegance for the job, you will be hard pressed to find something more elegant than this wonky, asymmetrical, multicolored fraying piece of wood that should be turned into kindling.
Yeah, that's nice.
I guarantee you. How in the heck do you make this thing work, though? Like, how does this work?
You know,
Huh?
the tension's mounting.
The tension is mounting. Well, one of the pieces of the puzzle is tension. So when you go to tie this thing up, before this cross piece is on here, I would push these two together, and I'd get my little baling twine here. This stuff is, you're going to make fiber with Tamara Wilder next week out of dog bane twine. And once you've actually tried to extract out of a stick fiber and turn it into rope or twine, string to twine to rope, you will see the mountains of this embodied petroleum fossil fuel product that are around dairies, and you'll be like, oh man, in post-peak everything, you'll be so happy to have 1,000 miles of this piled up over there where the horse has been fed for a decade. This is amazing stuff. Don't throw this away. Don't throw this away, right? Use it to tie up A-frames or your friends. So you're going to push the stick here, and then you're going to basically wind this thing around in a figure 8 and pull and tug and pull and tug and pull and tug and get creative on your knots. Go back to your Girl Scouts, Cub Scout days and knot tying days. Tighten that up, and then you open this leg up, right? That's why I put, and when you open it up, it's going to tighten that joint. Then I'm going to take this dude, put it here, tie it up, however you want, crank that dude down. These two are now bomber, really solid, and this one you've just got to tie and make it bomber. What you don't want is, you don't want this angled, you don't want these things to shift and slide. Because once we calibrate this device, if any of these sticks slip in their relationship to each other, then it screws up the calibration of the tool. So you got to at least, it's the only thing you have to be a little bit attentive to, which is not that big of a deal, right? Is just make these knots strong. Okay, so that's cute. I got my little stick, my string, which I actually put the string in before we tied the rocks here, so it hangs straight down from that point right there, right? And it's not really sliding around. And then I've got a fancy rock. In Australia, they recommend a beer bottle by the end of the swale that's empty, right? So then you got it flipped off, and you just need a weight with wind. This kind of challenges this device. All right, so now how do I actually verify? How do I know how to use this thing? What is level? How am I gonna? I have to calibrate the device, right?
Yeah.
Like, how is that gonna work?
With the rock itself.
Huh?
With the rock and the measurement from the rock.
Start somewhere that you know is level.
Look at
Figure
water.
what that is.
Use that as a reference point.
The line coming
You
off
look at water. You could go bring in another tool that is a level. Like, you could find a thing that's level with a carpenter's level that is now level, and put this on the level and see where the string stops moving. And what we're looking for is the intercept point of where the string comes to rest against this cross piece, because this is a plumb bob. This is a two-legged plumb bob. That's all this device, right? You know what a plumb bob is, right? A string that allows you to look for plumb when you're sighting walls and doors and things, and make sure it's not all wonky like that. It's basically, that's all this device is. It's a gravity-based bipedal plumb bob, right? And so, but you don't, there's an easier way. You don't have to go look at water. You don't have to bring in some other technology. You've had all the technologies with the device. You don't have to go get any. On-site resources are all here. We don't need to go get nothing else.
You have to put it right in the middle of that stick.
Is the halfway point measured here going to be the level point?
No.
That's exactly why I made this thing as cattywampus, which would be the technical term,
Yeah.
as cattywampus as possible to prove a point that actually the geometry of this triangle is irrelevant. Structurally, if you were really interested in this triangle being strong and not moving, then obviously if it was more like an isosceles triangle, it would be stronger. But the device does not need to be horizontal, and the intercept point absolutely may not be the measured halfway point. So how do we find the point where when these 2 feet are equal in elevation to each other, we know where that mark is?